Fellow Kenyans, fellow Africans, I greet you all in expectation that you're in good health and good mental fortitude. And kuna hii story imekuwa long overdue, and to those who know me, I've been speaking about it since 2020, and it's been almost 3 years now. 2 years for countries in Africa and sub-Saharan Africa. And I want you to see something, because I was watching the president of Kenya address the 36th AU summit in Addis Ababa, and he mentioned or called for the need for a new African public health order. And I don't care what you want to think, because it was the African Union that these people are actually thinking or have our best interest at heart. But the AU is somewhere where member states are required to toe the line. So basically what I'm saying here is that the AU had an agenda they wanted to push, and this agenda came from the World Health Organization, and it was actually the International Treaty for what they call pandemic prevention and preparedness. So it's a pandemic treaty, and once WHO said that, I think it was sometime last year, all of us went up in arms, because we know what's coming. We know that this time they will make sure that when they say Africans will die from this pandemic, that Africans will actually die in the numbers that they're approximating or expecting. So when we come to this position where we're now hearing what you will hear your Kenyan president say, and you will have to ask yourself a question here, is that if Africans had low mortalities from this pandemic, what are we going to say now that we want to somehow work together with the same people who lost millions of lives, hundreds and thousands of lives? So it didn't affect us as it did them, but now we want to follow their policies and their preparation, preventative methods, their solutions, like what we did with vaccines. And people are hurting right now. People are dying in Africa. People have lost their lives. People are immunocompromised because of this thing. And then you hear this devil speak in the way he speaks. He's a devil because he represents everything that they represent. It's not a lie these days, and we have to call these things out. I don't care, and I'm not afraid of the president of Kenya, because if he is my president, and I did vote for him, I actually did vote for him. So if he is my president, I'm going to check him. Juu mi sitaogopa. Hatutakaa hapa tunaruliwa na watu akuje kesho aseme GMOs are okay. Who told you? Just because, and you do have breast, my friend. Who told you? Actually, who? WHO is pushing strings and having you make declarations on behalf of Africans. Have you asked me what this new public health order needs to be like? Have you consulted with your own people? Or is this high level, top-down coercion, like what we saw with the pandemic? We will check and question you, because you are not a scientist. You're a quack. And a quack who has gotten us in so many problems before. Juu wewe ulianza na issue ya mahindi kitambo sana, na najua hiyo mahindi ilikuwa inatoka Mexico, na huko ndio kulikuwa na GMOs. And Mexico came again and said they don't want to grow and cultivate GMOs. That is after they had seen the impact. But still, you'd see America, the US, challenge and question their sovereignty and decisions on their own food security. So now, this is WHO using the AU to build consensus to tell me, the individual, not in fact to coerce me to follow this new public health order, that where they will be saying, now we're locking you down and you're not supposed to question it. So if the lockdowns were as horrible as they were, we lost about 19 lives during the enforcement of that curfew and lockdowns bullshit. These were innocent lives, youth, women, and children. So are we going to sit here now and watch these people, this incompetent class of corrupt leaders, take us through what is possibly going to be the most damning treaty, or pandemic treaty as they would like to call it, something that will enforce mandates, something that will lock us down and deny us freedoms of movement, to now be required to have vaccine passports, to now to be required to be vaccinated to enter into an office or a government building to get any service. This is madness, and we're not going to allow it. So we're going to be in the streets. We're going to challenge what you're saying, because you are not our divine leader. You are not the overall trustee of our God-given rights and freedoms. And I will say that again. The government and these governments are constantly in breach of trust, because they are not our leaders. They do not give us anything. They do not provide anything. All of it comes from the people. And once we realize that this class of people is now oppressing us and using laws and bending them at will to continually take from us, steal from us, dry us out, wanatukausha as we speak. Right now, no one is making savings. Very few people are making savings, because everything is coming out of pocket and you have to dig deeper. There is general want for everything, and that is wicked. And these are the people who told us they're going to change something. So why are you keeping quiet? Mi usiniulize kwa nini naongea hivyo, by then nimekasirika, and I'm in fear of what is coming upon my people. That is my children and the future of these children that we're raising here. So that this person can tell us that GMOs are safe. He doesn't even understand the mutagenic, epigenetic effects of consuming these things. If I take a seed and inject it or alter its genetic structure with I don't know, whatever chemical that is supposed to then kill this insect that comes to feed on your whatever, mindy. When it comes to feed on that seed kernel, the minute it tries to bore through, it dies. Its whole nini ruptures, its digestive system ruptures. What is it going to do to you over time? You continue consuming this thing. It's going to have epigenetic effects. And the Seralini study proved this. And that is why in 2012, the Kibaki administration and government banned the cultivation of GMOs. So who are you, Ruto, with your breasts, to tell us, is that an empirical study that you just carried out? And you say, I don't have breasts. Is that science? So when you stand there to tell us that we need a new public health order, why do we need a new public health order? We did not die as they did. The impact here was not as it was there. It was not as great as it was there. We didn't lose as many lives, but we're still losing lives because you guys chose to vaccinate people. Magufuli told us this. He told us it was a ruse. Now we came to understand the PCR test was never meant. It was never meant to test for viruses and pathogens, because you can find anything depending on the application of a cycle. So we're here sitting down listening to this president talk in the way that he's talking, and I'm pissed off. That's why I'm telling you, we have to challenge these people. We have to speak as the people, because these people are supposed to represent us in trust, but they're not doing that. They're being coerced, they're being financed. All this research you're hearing, they're quoting, this is research financed by, the ilk of Bill and Melinda Gates foundations. These are people who invest in problems which they're going to cause so as to profit from it. Cause and effect. It's Hegelian. And we're still here listening to this president of yours trying to dumb you down. This president of yours trying to speak as if we are all children and we don't understand what he's saying. Calls himself a scientist. Yo, we're not going to keep quiet anymore. Personally, I'm not going to keep quiet anymore. We're pushing for this. We're pushing against. So this is a reformation. And I want them to know, because they know we know. And they continually suppress us. They continually censor us. But we will take it to the streets and we will talk to people individually. Because you cannot go and decide for us in Addis Ababa that we need a new public health order. Then come here and start pushing. And start using those finances that you've gotten from who knows where. Those filthy, wicked. It's confetti. It's paper that they print and they use to dictate policies and structural adjustment programs in our countries, and we cannot say anything about it. Tuachie watu kama waendelee kuongea. We've seen the adverse effects. We've seen the adverse effects. Everyone you know who was vaccinated probably now has shown up some sign or symptom that proves that this thing has immunocompromised them. We're not going to continue keeping quiet. Wafanye vile watafanya, but we are also leading a reformation here. They can counter it.